Welcome. I'm Deputy Chief John Baturla of the Richmond Police Department, and as you know, that I am responsible for the city's planning and efforts associated with the UCI Road World Championship. And today, this is going to be the second of our press briefings that we had promised, and this one will focus on public safety and collaboration. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our mayor, Dwight C. Jones.
Thank you, Chief, and welcome everybody. We're so happy that you're here, and we are so happy to have the opportunity to share with you some of the vast preparation that is being done for the UCI Road World Championships in Richmond. As you know, this major event is going to take place on the 19th of September through the 27th, and we are 91 days away from the beginning of the race. A lot of preparation has gone into it, and people have worked extremely hard. I told Captain Will Smith and John Patola and Supervisor Thornton that after this is over, we're going to have a big party of our own. But we've worked very hard, and we know that this is a great opportunity for our city. It's an opportunity for our city to be able to generate about $130 million in economic impact, and it's an opportunity for us to cooperate across regions. We have represented here today all levels of government, federal government, state government, the counties, the city, all working together, and I think you'll be impressed by what you're going to hear today. And a lot of planning takes place in efforts such as this in order for us to get ready for it, and we've been working closely together as a region because this race is going to impact Richmond, Henrico, and Hanover, and we have representatives from all three jurisdictions with us today. And so we want the public to learn more about how we're leveraging public safety resources, how we are making plans for prevention as it relates to public safety. We want you to learn a little bit more about incident command planning and how the jurisdictions have been working together so well to make sure that this is a safe event. And so I'm very happy today to have the Chairman of the Board of Supervisors from Henrico County here, and I'm going to ask him to come and make some comments. Chairman Frank Thornton.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thanks to you for being here. I'm pleased to be here this morning to speak on the regional public safety effort being made to ensure the safety of all who will attend the 2015 UCI Road World Championship this summer. Our fire, EMS, and police professionals have been working tirelessly, developing plans which will help to secure the event for all who witness this once-in-a-lifetime experience. This regional effort by all our public safety professionals is an outstanding representation of the collaborative spirit in our region and a marvelous example of what can be accomplished when we work together for the good of all of our citizens. On behalf of the Henrico County Board of Supervisors, we are enthusiastic about collaborating with our regional partners in this initiative, and we look forward exceedingly for this international and exciting event. Thank you.
Now, before I turn the podium back over to Deputy Chief Patola, I want everybody to understand the wonderful opportunities that this event presents for us, the opportunity for all of the people who are going to be visiting our city, the television exposure of millions of people who will be seeing us around the world. They'll see our beautiful streets, and this world audience will be introduced to this wonderful region that we already know about. It's also going to be an opportunity to build relationships between some of the world's most prominent companies and allow them to see the benefits of perhaps doing business in the city of Richmond. It's going to be a 9-day event, and we're looking forward to leveraging our cultural, entertainment, and hospitality assets during that time. And we really want to make sure that the news media helps us to encourage the members of our community to take part in this 9-day event. We want them to know that this is a 9-day cultural event that's going to be a cool party. It's going to be an amazing event, and we can have a lot of fun while we accomplish our goals. And we want to make sure that our residents from the region take part in every aspect of the race, not stay away, but be a part of it, because this is going to be our opportunity to shine. Deputy Chief Petrola.
Thank you. This truly is going to be a phenomenal event, and it's certainly unprecedented. And much of the organization for this event has fallen to an organization that was created, and that's Richmond 2015. The Chief Operating Officer of Richmond 2015 is Tim Miller, and I'd like to bring Tim up to say a few words.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been nearly 5 years since we started working on this event, which seemed like an eternity back in 2010, is suddenly upon us and is feeling very tangible. It's, as is mentioned already, this event will start in 91 days, and the world will ride in Richmond. As always, I want to thank the mayor for the vision that he had at the beginning of this process. We couldn't have done it without you. And I also want to thank you for empowering the various city departments, and in particular the police, for giving them the power to do what is necessary to be done to make this possible. In particular, I want to mention Captain Will Smith, who has been part of this from day one, and along the way became an avid cyclist. And more recently, Deputy Chief John Buturla, who, as mentioned, is now the point person for the city and has really provided some focus and efficiency around the collaboration that we have with the city and everything that has to be done to prepare for this event. I also want to thank our partners from the Commonwealth of Virginia who have been part of this from the very beginning, as well as the counties of Henrico and Hanover, who became part of the team shortly after we won the bid and have been a very important part of the team ever since. We couldn't have done this without any of our municipal partners. This is truly becoming a regional event, and we appreciate the level of cooperation and collaboration that we're seeing from everybody involved. It's really remarkable and gratifying to see everybody working together certainly to the benefit of the event, but I believe also will be to the benefit of the entire community going forward. And so on behalf of Richmond 2015 and all the stakeholders involved in this event, this once-in-a-lifetime event, I just want to say thank you for your continued support and hard work. We're almost there. 91 days to go. Thanks.
"91 days, just remember that. 90 days to the opening ceremony, if you want to be specific, and that's what I'm looking at. At this time, what I would like to do is introduce a gentleman who I've known for quite a number of years, and we've reconnected when I was up in DC, and he was the assistant chief of the Metro Police Department there, and that is our Chief Al Durham, who brings a great deal of experience in events. As you know, in DC, they have a few events that happen on a daily basis, so we appreciate Chief Durham to speak on some of his experiences.
Well, good morning. Good morning. It's important to note that the administrations of any government and police executives recognize the challenges and issues when preparing their cities for any major event. Police departments in any size jurisdictions must also be prepared to those natural, man-made events or disturbances. Cities and other jurisdictions that host such an event, even from presidential visits to food festivals, need to work cooperatively with other local governments and agencies to develop a large enough public safety presence to meet the demands of that event and to coordinate the appropriate level of response should an incident occur, even across jurisdictional lines. The planning and management of such major events requires governments to have a good sense of vision, an ability to look into the future and imagine the types of unanticipated events that might occur in their jurisdictions. I tell you, I have been here for 7 months, and walking into the door, there is partnership and collaboration in this region. I am so impressed. Talking about my experience coming from DC, 7 presidential inaugurations, a million-man march, and about 4 IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank meetings where there was always some type of civil disturbance associated with that. But what's most important is that I believe today, with the partnerships that we have here, the planning that I have seen, we will be able to respond to any type of response should it occur. We don't anticipate it, but you always plan for the worst. And I'm here to say that we will be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. You know, it's pretty impressive, I will tell you, from this side of the podium when you look out and you see the uniform presence and the non-uniform presence, but the people that are partners in this. Before we move on to the rest of the program, let me just take a minute and introduce some of the people that are here. Some of our partners who won't be speaking today, who many of them were very happy not to have to speak today. I don't understand that, but they were very happy not to have to speak, but they are truly, and this is truly a partnership. You could take any one of our patches off, any one of our badges off, and any one of us can step into anyone else's role in this planning and in this process. And that is the beauty of what's happening here. So let me first introduce a couple of our partners from the Virginia National Guard. Captain Matthew Swanson is here. From the State Police, Major Terry and Captain Chumley. My good friend and partner, Assistant Chief Jim Fitzgerald from Henrico Police. From Richmond Fire Department, Chief Creasy and Battalion Chief Melanie Spivey. A gentleman who the chief was also kind enough to assign full-time to the planning, Captain Mike Snauder from the Richmond Police Department, working very hard every day with Captain Smith. From the Hanover Sheriff's Department, Captain Kenny Epling is here. And Hanover Fire and EMS, I believe Henry Moore, Division Chief Henry Moore, and Corey Beasley is here as well. From Richmond Emergency Management, Anthony McLean and Derek Andreessen are here. From our Department of Emergency Communications, Director Stephen Willoughby. From the FBI, John Wyman. This is just a small representation of the partners that get together on a regular basis and are planning for this international event. It is truly unprecedented in the planning. It is truly unprecedented in the cooperation. And this is the type of event that those of us that are in the business see written about in trade journals. It is truly that impressive. So at this time, let me turn it over to Captain Will Smith, who will begin walking you through some of the efforts that have gone forward. Captain Smith.
Thank you, Chief. Again, good morning. My name is William Smith. I'm the commander of the Special Operations Division for the Richmond Police Department. And normally I'm very positive because I do like cycling and this is going to be a great event. But I'm going to take a more serious tone because we're talking about public safety, and there's 3 key components that I want to talk about today. The first of which is what we accomplished nearly a year ago, which is to ensure that our communities at large that are not directly impacted by the event maintain their same level of safety and security that they already exist. And that's a pretty complex piece to begin with, because obviously we want to make sure that as a whole our communities receive the same level of service regardless of what's going on due to the event. We have essentially created an organization within our collective large organizations that span multiple jurisdictions, and that smaller organization is directly tasked with managing the event itself, and only with the event itself. We're able to take away calls for service and address those in a specific fashion so that we are able to maintain that level of service throughout the region, and I think that's a very important point. The second thing that I want to speak about is the cooperative nature, not only within the region, but with our communities, our civilian communities, and our business communities that we serve. Our safety can only be assured by having very strong relationships with those communities. That partnership is a two-way partnership, though. If we have information that is critical to the safety of our collective whole, we need to know that. So if you see something, say something. And if you look at the events of this past week, the tragic events in Charleston, South Carolina, and in particularly in light of the comments that have come out now where people knew or had knowledge of potential hazards, think of the things that could have been changed with somebody simply notifying someone to investigate that early. So if you're a child, notify your parent, notify a student, notify a police officer. For the rest of us, notify your local, your state, and your federal partnerships so that we can investigate that before tragedies occur. Lastly, I do want to reiterate again that, the people that you see here are not just here for window dressing. We work together on a daily, hourly basis. It is truly a regionally cooperative event. It is regionally cooperative in that we are developing the plan as a cooperative event. So it's not the Richmond plan that's going to be pasted together with the Henrico plan. It is one single plan that has been regionally developed, and it will be regionally implemented throughout the 9 days. I want to introduce a buddy of mine, the Assistant Chief for Henrico Fire, Mr. Mike Cox, who has been not only a key component, but a really good fellow to work with, and it's my pleasure to introduce him this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. I want to talk specifically about the process we're using in the region to put this plan together and to make sure we have the appropriate resources to serve the public during this event. And it is an unprecedented event, and it is an unprecedented commitment of resources to put this event on, particularly from the public safety perspective. But what is not unprecedented is the process we're using to put this plan together. We've used this process in the region for years. This process has proven to work, and our unified command structure will be able to address all hazards that are generated during the event and also assure that service is provided throughout the region that's not directly impacted by the event. And this process, as Will and the Chief alluded to, includes all of our partners, whether it's our local public safety response, whether it's the health systems in the region, and our state and federal partners are all directly involved in this planning process to develop one plan. So again, the event's unprecedented, but our process and our cooperation, even though the level of it is unprecedented, our cooperation is not. We've been doing this for years, and we're confident that we can provide the services necessary to have a successful and fun event for those in the Central Virginia area. So we address contingency planning for any unusual occurrences that may happen. And again, one plan is distributed to every responder, to every incident command participant, and there's no question about how we will respond to any given event. So I'm pleased to be here, I'm pleased to be part of this team, and I'm very excited for the event in September. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Chief Operations from Richmond Ambulance, Rob Lawrence.
Mr. Mayor, Deputy Chief Patel, it's always difficult being the last person on, so hopefully the different accent will keep you with us for a few more minutes. I'm Rob Lawrence, Chief Operating Officer of the Richmond Ambulance Authority, and I just want to carry on from what Chief Cox had said, that what we're doing here really is a multi-jurisdictional, multi-regional exercise and in planning, which is something that we're all very, very used to. So even though the accent may be very different, the language is absolutely the same in which we plan and with which we execute the operation. And so that's my first point. Also, to the citizens of Richmond, as far as the Richmond Ambulance Authority is concerned, we intend to do the same thing that we do every single day, which is to deliver world-class EMS to the citizens of Richmond during, no matter whatever goes on, the race, normal daily service, etc. And in fact, Mr. Mayor, this is the reason that I emigrated to the United States, because Richmond is actually on the world-class EMS map, and that's why I'm here, and so I'm very excited. We have considerable experience, and Chief Cox and everyone has explained that we work very well together, we train hard together, and of course that means that we will execute well together on the day, excuse the pun, of the races. And so we look forward to doing that. We have considerable experience, of course, be it 10Ks, be it festivals, be it marathons, and we will bring that all to bear. We had the collegiate race last year where we were able to test our plans, we were able to adjust those plans, and of course bring the product forward for today. So we've had considerable experience in that planning, and of course in working as a team, and that team is the thing that will be very successful for us on the day. And so we are delighted to be a part of that, but more importantly, we're delighted to deliver world-class EMS every single day, and particularly in and around the race, where we will work together to make sure it's executed seamlessly. Thank you.
That concludes the prepared remarks, and at this time we have a few minutes where we can take some questions if there are any.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Curtis McLeod, Channel 12.
Hi, Curtis.
What would you say to the people, the public, the general public, who, they may want to know, what are you going to do to ensure that not just the bikers are safe, but the general public, the people who have day-to-day business to attend to, how are you going to ensure that they remain safe? This is a world-renowned event. It's going to garner significant attention. What are you going to do to ensure that these people, the citizens of Richmond, remain safe?
Would you like to?
Sure. First of all, that's a great question. And again, from an event standpoint, we're not worried just about the cyclist. It is truly, we're worried about the cyclists, the pedestrians, the vehicular traffic, making sure that our businesses within our region, and again, at regional impact, that our businesses can continue to operate as normal. We have based that in all of our operation plans to ensure that we have ease of access throughout the entire region, and that impact of the event is as minimal as possible. Having said that, clearly, there are going to be some impacts. So you cannot have a world-class race without some impact. And so having a very clear and articulate communication plan pre-event, leading up to and during the event is a key piece of that. So particularly for our citizens in the city of Richmond and in Henrico County and Hanover County, is being able to communicate with them on what to expect on race day, how to navigate the race, and how best to get from wherever they need to get to wherever they want to go. Is that okay?
Anything else? That said, I greatly appreciate Mr. Mayor, Chairman Thornton, Chief, and this distinguished panel that I get to work with on a regular basis. And I am a bit of a historian, if you will, and one of the things that I think is key, what I would like to do is take the opportunity to have all of my colleagues who have been working on this just come up this way. We're going to have a little photo op. I'd like to document the fact that we are all in this together, and we have been working, and we are going to make this a safe and secure event and a truly world-class event. So thank you all for coming.